All right guys, so we're here at the landing and I want to talk to you guys briefly about how you can launch your boat when you're by yourself. One of the most common mistakes I'm gonna start off with, I see guys pull up to the boat ramp, they're prepping their boat and they're getting ready to launch and they unhook right here the bow tie. This is really and truly the only thing keeping your boat on the trailer. And so you definitely don't want to do that until you're down at the water's edge. So I wanted to start with that and let that be the first thing because I feel like that's very important. So the second thing I'm gonna do, we're gonna walk to the back, we're gonna undo all of the straps, we're gonna check, make sure our drain plug's in, get our motor mounts off of our engine, and get ready to launch. So back here, these are our tie downs. This is what helps keep the boat on the trailer as we're running up and down the highways and from falling off, right? So these are the rear tie downs. These come off really easily. On this Ranger, you just hit the little free latch right here, lift that up, boom, that goes into place. One of my most favorite features on my Ranger bass boat is this actuator right back here for the drain plug. So in the event you do launch your boat and you forget your plug, you don't have to rush and put it back on the trailer. You just simply walk to the back of the boat and turn this actuator from out to in. Let your bilge pump kick out the excess and you're off on your day. So of course, on the tie downs, you have one on each side. We got one on that starboard side and one on the port side. And now we're ready to roll. One last thing, this right here, my motor mount. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna take this off, like so. And I don't wanna trim my motor all the way down because a lot of times you don't really know what's at a lot of these launch ramps. There's boulders down there sometimes, people drop rocks, there's a little loose riprap. You can easily damage your gear case and your propeller if you got that motor too far down. So I like to leave it up just a little bit, enough to where I can still navigate my boat, but not damage anything. Now that we have our latches undone, we got our motor tote taken off, we still have our bow tie connected, we're ready to launch and go ahead and back her down the ramp. All right, so now we got our trailer tires actually in the water. I know if this boat slips off this trailer, it's gonna be in the lake and not on the boat ramp. Now is the time when you wanna go ahead and disconnect your bow tie right here. All right, we're gonna ease her in the water just a little bit more. I don't want the boat to come off the trailer. I'm gonna take the boat off the trailer with my engine. So I'm gonna back in probably another 6 feet, maybe 4, 5, 6 feet, somewhere through there. Then I'll go ahead, hop in the boat, and we'll pull her off with the engine. So the day's over. We're back at the marina. Now it's time to load our boat back on the trailer. So I'm gonna show you guys very easily how to load your boat back on the trailer when you're by yourself. All right guys, so I pulled up to the dock. As you can see, I've utilized my power poles to keep me secure right here. But if you don't have power poles, some good old fashioned dock rope will work just fine. You guys go ahead and tie up to the dock and then head up and go grab your truck. All right, so we're easing back up to the trailer, nice and slow. You definitely don't want to come in hot, and you want to basically just line your boat up with the center of your trailer. You're going to make contact with the bunks, which we just did. The boat will come to a complete stop. At this point, I want to make sure my engine is trimmed all the way up, so my hydraulic jack plate is as high as it's going to go. Once again, a lot of debris can be down at the bottom of these ramps, easy to hit a rock, damage your prop and your gear case easily. So you definitely want to make sure that's up. Then I'm also going to use my tilt trim, and I'm going to tilt that up just a little bit. Then we can use horsepower to finish putting it on the trailer. Now we got the boat completely up on the trailer. At this point, I'm going to turn the engine off, trim my motor up to where it won't drag as I pull the boat out. Obviously take my life jacket off. And just like in the beginning, before we launched the boat, we made sure that the bow tie was connected before we launched. Before we pull this boat out, it's imperative that you reconnect that bow tie. Now we're ready to pull out. All right guys, we got our bow tie connected. We're just gonna reconnect our straps, put our motor mount back on, make sure everything's nice and secure, and we're ready to hit the road.